and welcome to this tutorial video for OCA Aspire. This tutorial provides a quick overview of the Soap tab. The Soap tab was designed with the input of chiropractic professionals to be familiar, even to first-time users. The Soap tab is arranged section by section in a top-to-bottom order, so you can create detailed soap notes quickly and efficiently. This tutorial assumes you are familiar with the Assessment tab. If so, many of the features of the Soap tab will be familiar to you. In fact, the Assessment and Soap tabs are designed to be connected, so information entered into an assessment will push forward and pre-fill many sections on the soap for you. This way, you'll never have to enter the same information twice, saving you valuable time during your appointments. Since the recommended workflow in OCA Aspire is to first create an assessment note and then create a soap note, this tutorial will follow that workflow. To create a soap from scratch, the steps are similar to performing an assessment. For details, see the assessment tutorial videos. At the top of the page is the case selector, visit number, and reminder sections. These sections operate nearly identically to the Assessment tab. On the Soap tab, you organize your notes into cases, view previous notes, and remember vital details, like where you are in your course of visits. Unlike the Assessments tab, though, you cannot create new cases on the Soap tab. The first main section of the Soap is the Subjective section. The Subjective section documents the patient's chief complaint. If you entered a chief complaint into an assessment note, the chief complaint will populate automatically for you on the Soap note. You can document any changes in the chief complaint by selecting one of the resolution buttons and updating the pain scale slider. This way you can track over time how your patient is responding to their treatment. Is your patient's condition improving, or should you try a different approach? You'll always know with OCA Aspire. You can also resolve and reactivate chief complaints in the Subjective section. You can resolve a chief complaint when it's no longer relevant to your patient's case. Resolving a chief complaint does not delete the complaint, it's just filed as resolved. This way it is documented, and if the chief complaint presents again, it can be quickly reactivated. To resolve a chief complaint, in the row of resolution buttons, click the purple Resolve button. The chief complaint is moved to the Resolved Complaint section. If you need to reactivate a chief complaint, click the purple Resolved Complaints button. The list of resolved chief complaints appears. Under Reactivate, click the clock icon and the chief complaint becomes activated and is added to the list of active chief complaints above. Also, if you need to add additional complaints, you can do so by clicking Add along the right side of the Subjective banner. Adding an additional complaint is done similarly to adding a complaint on the Assessment tab. Next is the Objective section. Again, if you performed an assessment for this patient previously, your notes will push forward and be pre-filled for you. Here you can update the status of each of your test results. To update each test result, either click Same if the condition is still present, or click Resolve if the test result is no longer an issue. Additionally, if you wish to perform more tests, you can easily add them to the note. To do so, below the Objective banner, select a body part. The section expands and an anatomical diagram for that body part appears. The test tools are identical to those on the Assessments tab. For instructions on how to enter tests, see the 4th tutorial on the Assessment tab. After the Objective section is the Assessment section, where you can update your diagnosis, prognosis, and patient goals. This section comes pre-filled as well if you performed an assessment for the patient. You can update the status of the diagnosis by clicking one of the resolution buttons under the diagnosis. Or if you have a new theory, you can change the diagnosis by adding as few or as many new diagnoses as required. Similarly to the Chief Complaint section, diagnoses can also be resolved and reactivated as desired. To resolve a diagnosis, click the purple Resolve button. The diagnosis is added to the resolved list. To reactivate a resolved diagnosis, click the purple Resolved Diagnoses button. The list of resolved diagnoses appear. Under Reactivate, click the clock icon. The diagnosis becomes active. The final section is the Plan section. Here you can create a detailed plan for your patient using either your keyboard, text templates, or speech-to-text dictation if your device supports it. Text templates are pre-configured snippets of text you use often. To apply a text template, click into the box where you'd like to add the text template. Then press the period key on your keyboard. A list of text templates appears. Select one and it will be added to the section. Under the Plan area is the Treatments table. Any palpation test results are automatically populated on the treatment table for you. This way you can spend more time performing treatments rather than documenting them. Your default treatments will be populated for each section. Below the treatment table are sections for education, counseling, and activity prescription. Just like the plan section, these can be filled either using your keyboard with text templates or with speech-to-text dictation if your device supports it. The last section on the page is where you can enter any additional comments you may have. To add a comment, click the Add button on the banner. The Additional Comments section expands, and you can enter any relevant comments that don't fit into any other section. To complete a SOAP note, at the bottom of the page are two buttons, Save Draft and Save SOAP. If you wish to manually save a draft of the SOAP note, click Save Draft. Remember, OCA Aspire will automatically save a draft of your note every 60 seconds, so you never have to worry about losing important information. If this is the last visit in your treatment course, remember to update the chief complaint, pain score, and diagnostic tests. These items are tracked in OCA Aspire and will affect the resolution score on the analytics page. To complete the SOAP note, click Save SOAP. The summary page will load, and the note is completed. Congratulations! You've completed this tutorial on the SOAP tab. We recommend you experiment with the SOAP tab to familiarize yourself with some of the tools. With OCA Aspire's powerful note-taking features, you'll be able to save time, allowing you to focus on what matters most, elevating your patient care and practice.